Hi, and welcome to another video in our continuous professional development series for classroom teachers. I represent Reach to Teach Consult Limited and my name is Stella. Today's topic will be on alternative communication. We'll be learning what alternative communication is and how playgrounds are becoming more inclusive with alternative communication. I'll begin by letting you know the full term. Augmentation and Alternative Communication, AAC, means all of the ways that someone communicates besides talking. People of all ages can use AAC if they have trouble with speech or language skills. So we know instances where children, very young babies and toddlers who are yet to learn how to talk, and they have to communicate. They have to communicate with their parents, their mothers especially, and their relatives around them, maybe their siblings if they're lucky to have such. So you can have kids from that very young age all the way to old age, because you have some adults or older children who have speech impediment or are mute or deaf, okay, and are unable to communicate the usual way verbally. You can use alternative communication strategies to communicate with this set of people. Well, AAC strategies include many forms of communication that can be used to express needs, ideas, and thoughts. And like I mentioned, for very young children, that's babies, toddlers, they have this special bonding with their parents, especially their moms. Say, for instance, a baby wants to express the need for maybe drinking, they might want to cup their hands and direct it towards the mouth. That is a form of communication. Or maybe the baby's hungry and rubs the tummy, that's an expression of a need. You could also have a situation where you, maybe based on trauma, maybe traumatic situations or experiences, some children who used to talk suddenly become mute. They don't talk, they don't express themselves verbally. We need, as teachers, to learn alternative ways to keep communicating with such kind of children, even in the classroom or at home. That's the essence of me wanting to record this video, to let teachers know that yes, there is need for us to have knowledge of the alternative ways of communicating verbally if there is need for it in the classroom, but at least we get to know. Okay, now examples of such AACs, that's alternative communication, include gestures, eye gaze, vocalizations, sign language, and facial expressions. Well, I'm going to talk about sign language just a few minutes. Well, we all are familiar with sign languages being a means of communication between people who are deaf or maybe people who are mute who can speak. But have you ever heard of baby sign languages? Yes, they do exist because for every family it might be different. Yeah, you might have a universal kind, you might have maybe a particular kind for a particular country, just like the Americans have their American sign languages. They could also have their own American baby sign languages. So each home can decide to create their own baby sign language specific for their own family, because you're the only one who knows the child, right? Good. So we could also have baby sign languages where, just like I mentioned, a child is hungry, a child is able to express that need in a different way instead of verbally. So until the child grows to be able to communicate verbally fine. So you could develop baby sign language style that fits your family. The same thing in the classroom. A teacher that is very observant and notices that a child is withdrawn and does not communicate verbally as should be, not because the child has an impediment, but because probably the child is still learning to be confident, the teacher can develop a sign language, a means of communicating with that child for that very purpose. It's unique to that class, it's unique to that situation between the teacher and the child. Now, for this session, I'll focus on another example, the communication board. Now, I'll let you see what it looks like. This is an example. This communication boards can be on devices, that's maybe on a tablet, on your phone. You can download it as an app if you want to. You can even create your own. Just pick images out there, or apps out there, or icons out there, or emojis out there, and create yours. Okay, now they're very simple. If, for instance, you want to, instead of, like I said, speaking to the child and the child is not speaking back to you, you could also use images to indicate what you want to say to the child. If the child is old enough and has mastered words and can read, okay, but it just does not want to speak or express verbally or even read whatever messages you've written, then the child can, just like you use the keys on the keyboard, the child can tap those specific keys or images or emojis to pass on information. Okay, exactly. It's just like saying shorthand. Okay, so instead of using images, you could decide to use words. Okay, now if your words, like I said, are for the older children who have learned and can read and write. But for this particular child, yes, the child has mastered the words, but is not speaking, is not communicating verbally. The child can use this communication board on a tablet, on a phone, on a computer, or on the whiteboard screen to indicate or to pass whatever message or need or desire that he or she needs at that moment. Now, I want you to know that this communication board can be taken or transferred to the play area, not just stationed in the classroom. It can also be used outside the classroom. So parents can develop this at home. Instead of being on a device, it can also be on a chat. It can be on the wall. It can be on a cardboard paper. It can be in a book. Okay, so whatever means that parent needs, or the child or the teacher in the classroom needs, you can develop that. Now, outside the classroom, on the playground where kids meet, you can also have this communication board installed there. So the children or the child who cannot communicate verbally can also use those images or words outside the classroom to indicate their needs at any certain time. Okay, and of course, because this is outside the classroom, so it means the images or the words you're going to be using on the communication board will be specific for the needs of the child outside the classroom. So what you have inside the classroom is specific for the needs of the child within the classroom. What you have in the house will be specific for the child's needs at home. So the communication boards are quite different. Outside the classroom, inside the classroom, at home. Okay, so you could have it this small, you could have it larger. It could be wide as a notice board out on the playground. And another good thing about this is not just for the child who needs this communication, but it can also be for other children, because they need to communicate with a child who is yet to come out to speak verbally. Or it could be for the child who is deaf and does not know much about sign language. You can also use the communication board. So the other children who have not mastered sign language can communicate with this child using the communication board. Like I said, you can use pictures, emojis, images, or words, depending on the age of the children. All right, so I just wanted to look at that, and then my extras. Hear what I've got to say, please. Now, when I come to this stage of the video presentation, I always say, to many, it might look like, oh, what are we talking about? We have enough work in the classroom, being classroom teachers already. Our timetables or daily schedules are choked up, and now we have to learn about communication, alternative communication. Oh, please. My dear, as a 21st century teacher, one who has feelings for these children, who want to go the extra mile for kids, who wants the children, who has the desire to make a difference in the life of the children in the classroom, you know that every child matters. Nothing should stop a child from learning. Nothing should stop a child in your class from learning at the pace of others. You meet every child at their point of need and help them out to be better than when they came into your classroom. If a child is having this particular experience and cannot communicate verbally with you yet, you might need to use this method, alternative communication, to reach that child. Please do not stop. Do not stop and just give up. And whatever it is that is working in the classroom, share with the family, share with the home. Remember, it's going to be with the consent of the management that you're working under, and if you're the school owner, fantastic. Please let or teach the families, teach the parents, teach others. As part of your PTA, you can also bring this in. See, today's world is not just what we went to the university to learn. There are other skills we have to add to what we have already to make us a wholesome global citizen. And this is part of it. AAC, Augmentation and Alternative Communication. There are different strategies. You can decide to learn more, research more about this, and see what you can do in the classroom. And like I say, it's not just on your tab, on your computer, on your phone. It could also be on the communication board. It could also be on the chat. It could also be in a notebook. So whatever works for you, create that. All right? Well, I want to say to all the newcomers who are just watching this series for the first time, welcome. Please visit our YouTube channel, One by One with Stella. This is the link, https://www.youtube.com/c/one by one with Stella, just the way it's typed here. Subscription is free, okay? Apart from this video that I've recorded, under this series, I think I've recorded about 6 or 7 now, and I would like you to go watch the previous ones. And apart from that, I've also uploaded more than 45 mini videos of about 3 minutes long or less. Check those videos out when you visit the YouTube channel. Like the video, subscribe please. Subscription is free, and please invite more people. You can also hit the notification bell if you want to get updates whenever I upload new videos. I do that virtually every week. Thank you very much for being a participant and listening to me here, and I want to say I have been blessed, and I hope you join me next time. So if you have any questions, share with me at the discussion section of our YouTube channel, and I always respond. Thank you. Bye.